So if I was to start online business all over again, here's what I would do different. So when it comes to making money online, there's a few different paths that you can go down. You can either decide to work with businesses or brands and help them make more money. You can maybe even start an e-commerce store so you can start generating revenue with actual physical products. You can do other things like day trading and a few others. I always knew from the start that I wanted to do something where I could actually work with local businesses, do something for them, and in return get paid for what I was doing for them. But the mistake I made at the very start was I started a social media marketing agency. Now this was back in around 3 years ago or so. What I was doing was I was providing content creation for car dealerships all across the country. The thing is with that business model was, it got a few clients in the door. It got me into online business. It got me into, accepting payments from clients and seeing the money stack up on the phone. But the thing was, it wasn't really that scalable in my opinion. The more clients I brought on meant that I needed to hire more people and outsource the work just because it was getting so ridiculously busy. So what I was doing was I was doing infographics for car dealerships. So pretty much anytime a car dealership would get a new car in stock, we would do the infographics and everything and all the branding and graphics and pretty much everything when it comes to online social medias. But like I was saying, the more clients I brought on, the more I was cutting into my margins. So a business that started with and around 80% profit margins was just sort of dripping down to 70% profit margins and 60% profit margins. So I decided that I needed to switch something up. And the switch that I made was completely life-changing, as it's exactly what I'm still doing to this day, almost 3 years later. So if you're stuck in some sort of online business, whether you're doing SMMA, where you're doing, content creation, maybe you run a dropshipping store and you're not bringing in any sales at all, or maybe you're just completely lost and you don't even know where to start. The transition that I made was not only completely life-changing for me, but also the people around me. And the reason for this is because I'm able to consistently generate revenue for myself without doing any work whatsoever in return for a business. My business model pretty much changed from, being a liability where I could be replaced at any second. The work could be outsourced to literally anyone. When you're running a social media marketing agency and providing content creation, it's pretty much a race to the bottom in terms of pricing. Instead now what I do is I work with local businesses all around the country, all around the globe, and we help them get simple automation softwares set up so they can manage all of their marketing, all of their sales teams, all of their social media scheduling tools, all of their websites, all of their landing pages, pretty much everything. We became a full service software business where we could pretty much plug all of our systems into businesses around us. And instead of getting paid for the time that we're putting in, we get paid for the value that we provide. So now all of my clients, instead of paying me, on maybe a freelancer basis where I get paid every time we do some content, we now get paid a monthly retainer, and it's usually between $97 and $497 every single month. Not only is this model a lot more passive, but it's also so extremely profitable. Instead of my margins being in around 50 to 60%, my profit margins are in around 95% every single month. And the thing is, whenever I shifted model, it didn't just become a lot more passive, a lot more profitable, but it also became a lot easier at getting clients, because the thing is, at the stage that I was at whenever I got into content creation, doing graphics and everything for businesses, I pretty much got in near the very end where the majority of the money was already made, 3 years prior, 4 years prior, whatever. I got in at the very end, so I was left with the scraps. I was left with the businesses that didn't sign up with any of those higher ticket agencies that were charging, a few hundred, a few thousand a month. So because at that point you're so desperate to get clients, you're going to take them in no matter what they're paying you. And what I mean by it's so much easier to get clients is everything is so much easier tracked and manage. If we're doing content creation for a business, we don't know where the actual revenue is coming from. We don't know if we've actually generated that business any new revenue through the content. It's just one of those things where it's sort of happening. You're not really sure if it's getting results. The business owner isn't seeing any direct correlation with content produced and revenue generated. So ultimately they just get rid of you in a month, maybe 2 months, even 3 months. The lifespan of every single one of my customers just wasn't really it. And another thing that I noticed about this shift was every single client I was getting on, they were staying with me for so much longer, if not lifetime. So there's still customers to this day where I don't really speak to at all. I haven't really spoke to some of the clients in months, but they're still happy to pay me that money every single month because they're happy to just use the software. They know how to build out some automations. They know how to do their email marketing. They know how to do their SMS blasts. They know how to use reputation management so we can help them get more positive Google reviews and completely internalize and hide all the negative reviews. They all know how to do this because of the onboarding process that I've provided. So every single client that I get on, I train them. I train any other team members, whether it's a receptionist, whether it's a sales team, on how the actual software works. And another thing is I actually give them a completely free course included. So any client of mine that signs up, they get a step-by-step course from me showing them everything from, how to connect up their domains, how to purchase a phone number, how to build out automations, how to build out booking systems. This has allowed me to pretty much have time, location freedom because I'm not really doing anything in return for clients. But I'm able to stack that monthly recurring revenue. There's no fulfillment, so all I need to work on is growing the actual business. When I was running that content agency, I was even struggling to hit 4K months, if I'm going to be honest. But in making that shift, I'm not only keeping my profit margins much higher, but I've scaled that business from not even 4K a month where my initial goal was, but to 20K consistently now every single month. And the best part is I literally don't have to do anything whatsoever. Another thing that people don't seem to realize is the amount of actual time, dedication, and effort goes into starting an online business. Gurus online are promoting these business models like you don't have to really do any work, maybe 10-20 minutes a day. That is not the case. There are going to be so many long nights. There's going to be so many long nights where you're not even sure if it's worth it. You're considering giving up, but it's ultimately the people that stick it and keep going at it and keep going and keep going time after time again ultimately win in the end. So if you want a completely free step-by-step course showing you exactly how I've done this, how I've went from pretty much 0 to 20K consistently every single month with software arbitrage, I give you access to the full course, all my templates, all my resources, all my scripts, pretty much everything that has gotten me to this stage. Then all you got to do is click on that first link down below in the description. Enjoy the free course, and if you have any questions at all, drop them down below or reach out to me over on Instagram.